king.
Behold, the Prinzessin der Verurteilung.
Are these statues?
No. These are people.
Ugh.
They were probably followers of the god of salt.
How did they become this way?
What in the world is hidden deep in this ruin?
Crumble! Rise!
Look at this! It's filled halfway with salt.
Just looks like a fancy salt holder. Seems like the god of...
According to my knowledge, it's no ordinary vessel. Although it is only half full, it is also forever half full. That is to say, it is bottomless.
What? You're saying that even if I pour the salt out, the amount inside won't change?
Exactly.
Able to produce endless salt. The god of salt is powerful indeed.
Finally. After all that effort, I just need to pour the endless salt into 1,000 or 10,000 bags. I can sell it and make a fortune!
Hey! How can you use a relic?
If Mr. Clement wants this salt chalice, then the next object we find will belong to Miss Wanyan, according to the...
Of course, as we agreed. But how can anything be worth more than this?
Since we have a contract...
Then let's move on.
A touch of frost.
Crumble!
Just a simple ruler. It doesn't look...
This, if I remember correctly...
Indeed. But the god of salt imbued it with... When you stick this ruler in the ground, the surrounding area will become covered in salt, much like a rising tide covers the earth. The deeper it is stuck in the ground, the more salt will appear. It is essentially...
What? That's even better than the salt chalice!
Well then, according to our contract, the salt ruler goes to Miss One.
No, unacceptable. I paid for and organized this entire expedition. Why should I get the short... And this girl has been useless! Why would she get anything?
So you are saying you want to break the contract?
So what if I break it? Now that I've seen how the mechanisms in this ruin work, I know... Let's not forget who hired who here. Why should I...
Because you agreed to a... Rex Lapis once said, ones who...
That is one of your Liyue gods.
Will suffer the wrath of the rock.
Pay your dues. Quake. Gather. I will have order.
As a good knight should. Yep. Boing, boing, boom!
I shall confiscate your treasure as well. You are not worthy to continue any further into the...
Oh, darn you!
Clement's wrongdoing stemmed from greed, yes. But besides greed, when people see the object of their dreams, how many are really... I think we should be honest with each other. That in truth, not a single member of this archaeological expedition...
Why do you say that?
Miss, you lack even the most basic archaeological knowledge, and can recognize naught but a few simple relics. However, you are an expert when it comes to anything regarding the god of salt. You aren't interested in archaeology or relics. What you're really interested in is the god of salt. I believe those legends about the god of salt that you mentioned on the Pearl Galley are passed down between generations at Yinyuan Hall.
Okay, that's enough. Sir, you are indeed a man of great knowledge and talents. You're right. I'm not a scholar of archaeology. I come from one of the 8 trades under the jurisdiction of the Qixing, Yinyuan Hall of the salt industry. Our ancestors were those protected by the god of salt all those years ago, when the Archon War engulfed the land in chaos. During the war, Morax assassinated our god out of envy for her power. He left us alone and lost in the world. We hate him! But this is Morax's Liyue after all. And its history is written as he would. So I seek proof of Morax's guilt. He has blood on his hands and cruelty in his heart. We agreed to a contract that we will face the truth head on, didn't we, Mr. Zhongli? You must judge this history.
Naturally, of course. But I must add, Liyue is no longer Morax's Liyue. Come with me. I'll...
Quake! Rise!
I must leave no stone unturned.
Swift and merciful.
The insubordination!
Solidify! This is order.
One with my blade. Submit for judgment.
Steady as stone. By royal decree. This is a sword? Aha! It's a broken sword! This is proof! This proves that the god of salt had to fight back. Fight back against the evil. The power of this sword surely is much greater than that of the salt chalice and salt. If we can repair the sword, then we can show the world the mighty power of the god of salt.
2 pieces of a broken sword. From an archaeological perspective, these are 2 separate relics. According to the contract, you can only claim one.
Why? We were alternating claims to treasure, true. But Clement is no longer here.
Yes, but the only one object per claim clause still holds true. You cannot take 2 relics at the same time. When there's a contract, nothing can be allowed to slide. If the contract is...
No! If I only take 1/2, then it can't be repaired. And the power of the god of salt, no matter what, I must be faithful, even if it breaks the contract. I don't...
So you are already decided? That is to say, you consign yourself to suffer...
That's okay. The god of salt gave up her life to protect her people. My sacrifice is nothing. Punish me however you want. Just let me take this proof of my faith.
Perhaps that punishment would be easier for her. As punishment.
Huh? The truth? You mean the truth?
Yes. The truth that I am about to tell, I'm afraid to say that the god of salt, Havria, was not the powerful god you imagine her to be. Rather, she was a small and weak god who yielded to all other gods. When it came to war, she lost, never able to win a seat among the seven.
What?
During the Archon War, the gods of this world used all their strength and cunning to vie for control of Tevat. But Havria instead chose to flee. She thought that by giving up before a fight could start, she could save herself and her people from the war. However, during such a long war, there is no end to the advances of aggressors. After making countless concessions, Havria lost all of her lands, until only one small haven remained.
No.
In her last days, she had not even a single blade to defend her people with.
Not even a single blade?
This sword is not a relic belonging to the god of salt, but is instead the
Murder weapon? No! That's not true! That can't be true!
As I said before.
Preposterous! You are a follower of Morax!
Indeed. Otherwise, why would I use the truth as punishment? Let's follow her deeper into the ruin. There, I fear, we will find something that will leave her... Salt. And betrayal.
What are all these? What did they see? What?
Since you do not trust me, let us continue onward. That which lies beyond this door will show you all. This is the scene of the crime. Havria's body dissipated, leaving nothing but these traces of salt. Her dying moments have since been frozen in time to this very day. The story continues that some among her people realized at last that this gentle, kind, but weak god could never protect anyone in wartime. The Archon War was cruel in the extreme. Instead of consigning her to the agony of defeat, they thought perhaps it would be better to give her a quick release. No matter how weak the god, the power that flows forth when they are slain is beyond the strength of mortal coils to bear. Those who could not flee were thus transformed. Those of her people who were untouched by this disaster left for Liyue, where their descendants feared Havria's remnants and lived in terror that she had laid upon them an eternal curse. So they risked their lives to come here, to break the sword, and offer up obeisances in hopes that her anger might, but they need not have done so. For how could a god who had never once resisted, even till the end, nurse hatred for her people in her heart?
This must be a lie. A false hiss. Don't you dare try to shake.
This is the price she must pay. Judging by how she appeared, I fear that she will struggle for a time. But even if she may not escape that struggle immediately, simply recognize... Indeed. In ages past, Havria's story served as a warning to me as well. Faith in a god who has already passed will do you no good. So it is for Havria. And so it is for Morax also. All right then. Now... treading old ground. One cannot help but be